guys, this is Pedro and you're watching our everyday's market review, and we're going to check the situation of the markets. We're going to check the news background which we have, and we're going to go through all of the assets which we have on our Gerchik Co terminal of MT4 and MT5. We're going to check the stock market indexes. We're going to check the prices of main popular Forex pairs, and of course we're going to check the main cryptocurrency pairs, which are Bitcoin and Ethereum. So watch till the end of the program, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you would know at what time what kind of videos are coming up on our channel. As you know from previous week or maybe two, situation on the markets have been changed a little, and it's straightly related to the situation with the oil market, with WTI. As you know, oil prices have been dropped, and the main reason was China's COVID infection rising. The cases of the people who are infected in China started to rise, and actually we predicted some kind of scenario about China's infection before it happens, and we actually told on the program that nowadays, because of the energy crisis, because of the war around Ukraine, oil prices are going to rise, but China could actually change this movement. China could actually change the whole picture, and that's what exactly happened. China told that there is some cases in some big cities, and they have to close the cities on quarantine, and they have to actually make some cities to go to lockdowns again. And pay attention, China never even spoke during the pandemic about infections, about cases that they are rising. But here now, of course, he's not really interested on the higher prices of oil, and of course it's not interested because it's the main huge importer of oil. So that was a really interesting, smart movement from China which happened, and because of that the oil prices started to fall. That's the situation which we have nowadays with oil market. As you see, from the moment that China told the government told that there's higher cases of COVID-19 in the country, and they have to make some lockdowns around the cities, around the country, this is what happened to oil prices. They started to fall, and from previous times we told you that prices are not going to break through this local resistance which is here. So actually we actually said that prices are going to reverse and continue to fall down. The situation which we have now is exactly the same. So prices are going to consolidate maybe for a little while. They're going to make some upward, impulsive, speculative, correctional movements which could end in the near future, and then after that prices are going to fall further. Another main reason and another main impact which is going to make some huge pressure on oil prices in the near future is OPEC Plus chief, which told that prices of oil is really high and it could make inflation go higher, and because of that we are going to have more poor people around the world. So that's not really good for civilizations, that's not really good for countries, even for economically progressive countries. The higher inflation is not really good. They were kind of not so interested on higher volumes of oil production. But previously, from last day, from yesterday and today, they are telling that prices are really high and we have to control them. So mostly what we can wait from this, what kind of impact, is that maybe some of OPEC countries, of course, we are talking about the countries which are more have a better partnership with the United States of America, and maybe some of them are going to release more reserves, and they're going to make a higher volume of supply to Europe, so they could fight this energy crisis because of the war which is going on in Ukraine, because of the sanctions which Russia have to actually deal with it. And as you know, European countries, most of them are not ready to buy Russian oil or Russian gas in Russian rubles, in Russian national currency, which have said national bank, which has said the authority in Russia that I'm sorry, we are under the pressure of sanctions. You have to buy our oil and gas in rubles, in Russian national currency. And as you know, as you see, countries, the European countries, are kind of they're not yet going to do that, but they are under the pressure because of Russian sanctions. They are kind of really tolerating high pressure because of that. They are going to have a real high inflation because of this problem in Ukraine. So here we have China's movement, which kind of started to balance and bring back markets, like the better price market. And the other one, the other news which have been released yesterday was about OPEC decision to decide on oil output policy as US considers unprecedented release of reserves. So the United States and the Biden administration from previous maybe months, always like once a week or once in 2 weeks, release some speeches about oil market, and they told that we need more oil releases, or more oil reverse releases, more volume of oil production and supply to Europe. Of course, the United States is kind of making money on this, and that's a fact. But there's such a problem, which now we have to deal with it. But why oil prices are going to fall, and they're kind of going to fall further, is that many kind of impacts we have now, like OPEC, China's infections, China's quarantines, which are going to have a bad impact on oil market. So that was the news for today. What is going on with the COVID infections? Let's see. They are going to actually, they are kind of falling in the world, but in China, previously we have some cases and lockdowns. But as you know, in the world, everything is kind of calm. So there's no infections. Let's see what is going on in the economic calendar of this week. So we're going to check today's economic calendar and tomorrow's economic calendar. As you know, tomorrow markets are going to close, so the only thing that we have to actually pay attention on is that what kind of economic releases we are going to have. So what would go on with the prices of oil, the prices of, for example, Canadian dollar, Forex pairs. And at the end of the program, we're going to check the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency main pairs. So to watch till the end of the program. So here comes today, Thursday. Let's see what kind of releases we are going to have. We had an important release from Germany and about unemployment, which was not really good, and factual releases showed us that problems kind of not getting solved yet with the unemployment in Germany. So we have some problem with unemployment in Germany, which could have a really negative impact on euro, which is kind of mainly falling against dollar. Initial jobless claims today at 12:30 by GMT, which is unfortunately rising. That won't be really good for dollar prices. So during today's European session, we would have some negative impact on dollar prices mainly, and GDP of Canada, which is going to rise. But if oil prices are not going to rise, this release won't give a long-term or mid-term positive impact to Canadian dollar. So you have to pay attention. If we have some releases from Canada, you have to pay attention that is oil rising or falling, because oil prices rising or falling have a real more powerful impact on Canadian dollar than any kind of economic releases. And for today at night from Japan, unfortunately not really good releases. They're not so good. And as you know, Japanese yen is falling because the Japanese authority wanted. So tomorrow, China Kexian manufacturing PMI, which is falling. China is going to go through lockdown, so get ready for Asian stock market to fall as well. Europe, German manufacturing PMI, which is not changing. For tomorrow, from Britain, manufacturing PMI, it's not changing as well. So CPI index, which is rising for whole Euro continent, and that could have a really good impact on the euro during European session. Non-farm payrolls, which is a really important index, you have to actually pay attention on it, is always make a high impact on dollar prices. And as you know, dollar prices nowadays is under the impact of monetary policy, Federal Reserve System monetary policy, which is getting tightened, and it could get tighter and tighter. So they could make higher interest rates in the near future. So that's what's going on with non-farm payrolls, which are going to fall kind of about maybe 20 or 30%, which is not really good. And that would show markets that problem with job market is not solved. Because of pandemic, they're kind of after that started to make more jobs, to actually give more jobs, the situation will go better. But nowadays, as we said from 3 months ago, we said about it like 5 months ago, that problem with job market remains on the United States market. It could return again. So that won't really leave alone Federal system to kind of really sharply make higher interest rates. So that would mean that dollar prices could really be under some pressure during tomorrow's European and American session. Unemployment rate of United States, which is falling a little bit. That's not bad. That's not bad for United States dollar during European session of tomorrow. ISM manufacturing PMI from United States, which is rising as well. So there's some good releases data for tomorrow for dollar. But what is going on with dollar prices? Let's see. For today, dollar have been really impulsively retested the local support of 98, and now it's kind of rising. But don't pay attention on this rising because it's really impulsive. Again, when price movement is really impulsive, it would mean that prices are going to reverse again. So this strengthening of prices here is kind of really impulsive to rely on, and it could really not continue that way. So don't forget about 98.40, 98.60 prices could reverse again. So price of dollar could be and still be under pressure. There is some speculation now going on, but price of dollar are going to be under pressure. Don't forget about it. And the whole upward movement of dollar during this week could be really under pressure as well. So we mainly have to buy dollar, but you have to pay attention that prices here and now have really making a really impulsive movement. So for buyers, you have to know that prices are going to consolidate further on the bottom of the market, which is level 98. And let's see how they are going to retest it again, then get into the bullish market, then get into some long positions for dollar. So we have to wait. Opposite correlation of United States dollar with some stocks like S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial Index, and of course the Nasdaq High Tech Index is the main thing that you have to rely on for nowadays because they have some opposite correlation. And as you know, when we are talking about the higher interest rates, the stock market is going to be under pressure. So that's the main situation which we have now on S&P 500, which have started to consolidate. As we said, prices exactly drove and made a rally to local resistance, and now they're kind of falling. They're kind of even drawing a picture of a pattern which is reversal. This pattern is reversal, this pattern is a fractal, and the reversal pattern, which means that prices are going to reverse or make some consolidation movement, or at least make some correctional downward movement. So for S&P 500, 4,500, which was a really important level, it could get retested again. But we have to pay attention. If prices are going to stuck under 4,500, market of S&P 500 is going to be bearish next week or next month. So it's really important how the prices are going to open from next month, which is actually after tomorrow, which is actually tomorrow, yeah. And tomorrow's American session could really tell us how the prices are going to move during next month. So if we are going to stock under 4,500 and the opening of tomorrow's candle is going to be above this level, that's a good signal. But if it's going to be under this level, that's not a really good signal. It means that the S&P 500 have a potential to continue downward movement from the first days of next month till maybe even till the middle days of next month. So here we have Dow Jones Industrial Index, which is now as well retesting 35,000, which is an important psychological level. So opening above 35,000 is a good signal, or if you are going to stock under it, that's a really negative and bearish signal for Dow Jones prices, which could mean that in mid-term prices are going to continue to fall. So it would give you a really good, signal and view for your tradings in the future. Nasdaq prices, the high-tech index, which is now retesting, and showing us that prices even haven't yet strengthened above local mirror level, which is 15,000. So 15,000 is a mirror level. It's a really important mirror level. So if you are getting strengthened above this level, that's a bullish signal. If you are going to stock under it, that's a really serious bearish signal for sale, maybe during next month. So don't forget to check this retest of these important levels. Let's go through the Forex pairs. What's going on with Euro, Pound, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar, which are falling due to United States dollars rising, which is impulsive, but is it going to continue? I think so. Let's see how prices are going to open from tomorrow's American session. So tomorrow's American session is the first day of the month of next month, which is April, and it would show you how price is really going to act during next month. I think that nowadays, because of this impulsive downward movements near to mirror levels, or as we say, above mirror level, for example, Euro is above mirror level of 1.1 pound. It's kind of above a local mirror level of 1.31, and that's actually a good bullish signal. Australian dollar is near to a really important mirror level of 0.7, and it hasn't yet break through it and even strengthened above it. So we're could be really suspicious about next movement, but I think that maybe if dollar prices start to fall, make all of these pairs to rise. But there is some situation which is telling us that stock market, it's kind of going to fall maybe from next month. So dollar could continue to rise, and of course all of these pairs could continue to fall as well. So the movement which is going to happen today is going to be impulsive. It's going to be bullish for Australian dollar, for New Zealand dollar. We could get even retest the local resistance, but after that, maybe prices are going to continue to fall. So don't forget that prices maybe are going to remain in the consolidational corridors, in the consolidational form of movements. They're going to fall further. Pound, Euro, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar. It really looks like that they're going to fall further in the midterm. But for now, for today, for tomorrow, maybe they're going to make some upward impulses, which are speculative, which are just they happen to make you believe the price are going to rise. But all of this is speculation. And we actually talked about oil prices. Oil prices is retesting a local important level, which is psychological, of $100. And prices are going to maybe strength above it. But if the amplitude of prices is going to remain really low, it would mean that prices are going to fall further. So 98 or even 88 could be next levels of the retest. Let's say 96, 88. They could really get retest, especially if oil supply of OPEC Plus, of OPEC group is going to rise. That would mean that prices of oil is going to fall. So don't forget that you have to actually check the news background, and check the releases of oil releases from next month, which are actually going to, maybe they're going to show that the OPEC countries are going to make a higher supplies, make more volume of oil supplies. Next comes natural gas, which is going to rise further because problem with gas in Europe is going to remain on the markets. War is not over. War is going to continue at least for 2-3 weeks, and Europe is not going to buy from Russia gas in Russian rubles, and that's another fact. If something here changes, gas prices could start to fall, but I don't think that it's going to change during next week or even next month. So let's say that gas prices now is really near to local maximums, but it's going to rise further. It's got a potential of next upward movement to 6 or even $6.50. So that's the situation with gas, and it could actually continue to rise further. United States dollar to Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar got a really straight correlation with oil prices. When the oil price is rising, Canadian dollar prices as well rise. So we have a prediction, we have a suspicion of oil prices falling in the near future, which could make this pair to rise a little bit, especially if United States dollar prices start to rise as well. So there's 1.25, 1.2450, and at least when we are above these levels, we could say that prices are going to rise further. But if we get under these levels, that would be a really bad signal of the next fall of dollar prices, the United States dollar prices to Canadian dollar. But why we have such a consolidation here, the only reason is that oil prices and the United States dollar prices in one time simultaneously are falling. So if something changes, if oils continue to fall and dollar prices start to rise again, which is kind of possible because of stock markets reversal, which is going to happen, technically it's going to happen, we could say there's some kind of scenario of the price strengthening to 1.26, 1.2650 for US dollar to Canadian dollar pair is kind of realistic. And let's see what's going on with United States dollar to Mexican peso, which is an oil asset as well. It shows us that it's kind of going to strengthen, but let's see if it's going to strengthen about $20. That would be a good signal. If you're going to retest $20 with a high range candles, with a really paranormal candles, that would mean that prices are just going to make some correctional upward movement, then they're going to continue to consolidate. So pay attention if you are going to moderately retest 20, get above $20, and then strengthen above this level, retest it from upper side, and then strengthen above this level. This would be a good signal for buyers in midterm. But for now, I think that speculations are going to happen. So speculatively, we could retest 20 and then go lower and even lower. But after the strengthening above $20, you can say that prices are going to rise. So what is going on with the market of the commodities like gold, silver, palladium, and platinum? As you know, gold and silver rise if something bad happens to stock market. So if stock market is going to fall, gold and silver could get some chance to start to rise. And we have a prediction of stock market technical reversal because of some technical issues which you have on the charts. So we can say that maybe gold and silver are kind of getting strengthened now near to the local supports. Gold is kind of getting strengthened above 1,900, 1,920, and silver is actually strengthening above $25, $24.50. So $24.50, $25 for silver is a range above which prices are going to rise further. But if we get under these levels, if we get stuck under these levels, if we retest these levels from underside, that would be a really bad signal for bulls. So you need to get into some short positions, or if it's possible for you, or you have to just wait if you're a bull of silver and gold. Platinum and palladium as well, they're kind of showing us that they are reversing. Here we have a head and shoulders pattern, which shows us that prices are going to rise further for palladium, and for platinum as well, prices are going to rise further. Don't forget that sanctions on Russia could help palladium and platinum prices to rise further, but not gold and silver. So there's some interesting facts. United dollar to Swiss franc and United dollar to Japanese yen, which are actually the risk assets as well, kind of falling because of dollar prices, a downward movement. But could they start to rise again? Impulsive retest of local support. That's a really good signal. Maybe in the near future, in next sessions, we are going to strengthen above 92.50, 93, or even 93.50. So let's say yet we are not under 92, the prices are going to strengthen further. But before prices start to moderately go higher, which makes some stable upward trend in which you can actually make some long positions come true. Until we get under this level, we can say that maybe prices are going to rise. So don't forget 0.92 for US dollar to Swiss franc is a really important and good level. So if we get under it, if we get stuck under it for a long time, that won't be a really good sign. But consolidation above it, that would mean that bulls have to get ready to start to get into market again, to start long positions. And US dollar to Japanese yen, which is as well, it's kind of consolidating. It has the potential of downward impulsive speculative movement to 121, 120. But I don't think that prices are going to retest 120. They could retest it impulsively, and you don't actually need to use this chance because that's a speculation. You could actually lose too much money on this kind of fast speculations. So it's a retest. It's a retest. It's speculative, impulsive movement. It could end by the retest of $121. So $121, if we are above this, if we are going to strengthen moderately above this level in the future, that would mean that prices are going to rise further. But maybe this scenario of dollar rising could start from next week. So maybe during today and tomorrow, scenario for dollar price are going to be speculative, bearish, because dollar mainly have to rise further from next month, even for next 2 or 3 months. Dollar have to continue to rise. We know that many countries are going to ditch dollar from their economic system, but that's not going to happen so fast. So for next 2 or 3 months, the dollar have to rise, except of course if something happened with gold or silver. But I think the dollar prices are going to rise as well, because dollar is kind of showing us that it could shift to its own role to a risk asset when something's going on wrong with the stock market. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin prices. From previous time, we told you that prices of Bitcoin, from previous 2 sessions, I think, we told you that price of Bitcoin is kind of really moderately rising, and there is a possibility of the retest of 48,000, even 50,000. But what happened yesterday, or as we can say today? This impulsive movement happened. So we told about it, and it happened because there was some accumulation of energy. There was some signals about which we talked. There was some maybe signals between oscillator or the other indicators with price movements, between price movement and some indicators that we said the prices are going to rise further. And of course, there's some speculative scenario which is going to continue for Bitcoin, for Ethereum during next days. So prices could really continue this upward movement. Even they could rise then to 50,000, 52,000. But the main thing, the main scenario which we're waiting for is a reversal. So that's not a really good moment to hold Bitcoin. That's not a really good moment to get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin could make some impulsive downward correctional movements to 20,000, even to 30,000 next month. So you have to pay attention. For Bitcoin is kind of really available to do something like that. And as well for Ethereum, 2,600 or even 200 are going to retest in next month. So this movement here, this retest of really important mirror level of 3,600, 3,400 showing us that prices have some potential of next upward movement, but mainly they're going to stuck under these levels, they're going to fall further. So we are not going to hold it, we are not going to buy it, we're not going to invest in it now. We can actually speculatively trade on it, but we cannot actually invest in it. So for holders, that's a really good situation for now to get into markets. But for speculators, of course, we're waiting for some impulsive speculative retest of 3,600 or even 3,800. But holders, be careful, that's not your time. Yeah, thank you guys that you watched this video. Don't forget to subscribe on the channel and ring the bell so you would know what kind of programs we're going to have next, so you won't miss them. And don't forget to check our main website, Gerchik Co, the official website. There you can actually find different type of tools, different type of instruments for trading and courses for learning for beginners and of course for professional traders as well. Thank you for watching this video. Care yourself. Until next time, have a good time and good tradings. Bye bye.